Happy holidays, my loves. It's the most wonderful time of the year, so what better way to celebrate than with some cheery tunes? For this video, I want to look at some lesser known holiday songs, whether they be completely original tracks, or covers of Christmas staples that have fallen into obscurity. Let's get started with This Year by Christina Aguilera. It's relatively forgotten about nowadays, but Christina Aguilera released a whole Christmas album called My Kind of Christmas very early in her career, just a year after her debut. I'm actually planning on doing a whole video about it, but I did want to highlight my personal favorite song from the project. This Year is an R&B track that sees Christina singing about her man and all the holidays they'll celebrate together throughout the year, of course with a major emphasis being on Christmas. It reminds me a lot of her song Love for All Seasons from her first album, since that one has a similar concept of describing a relationship using seasonal imagery. And that's one of my favorite Christina Aguilera songs of all time, so anything that reminds me of that is definitely a plus. This Year strikes a good balance of typical ex-Tina dramaticness and holiday coziness, definitely one that deserves more love. Santa Baby by the Pussycat Dolls. Everyone and their grandmothers have done a cover of this song, but my personal favorite has to be this one. A B-side to their single Stick With You, Santa Baby is actually a really interesting piece of the Dolls' discography, as it's one of the only songs to not feature lead singer Nicole Scherzinger. Only Carmit Bakar, Ashley Roberts, and Jessica Sutter are singing on this one, and they do a great job with it. The big bandy arrangement definitely plays into their strengths as a burlesque troupe, and the ladies sound flirty, sexy, and playful throughout. The trio actually made a video for the song in 2020, a whole 15 years after its release, and it was heartwarming to see them back together like this. Maybe one day we'll get a Dolls Christmas album. Christmas Tree by Lady Gaga featuring Space Cowboy. Released in 2008, Christmas Tree is either one of the worst or best holiday songs you've ever heard, depending on your taste. Now, as someone whose musical taste has remained firmly in 2008, I of course love it. Christmas Tree is a sexed-up synth-pop song that interpolates the classics Deck the Halls and The Little Drummer Boy. It's basically a holiday-themed song from the Fame, only somehow hornier. The lyrics are hilariously unsubtle, with lines like, "Light me up, put me on top, the only place you wanna be is underneath my Christmas tree," or my favorite line, "My Christmas tree is delicious." What exactly is that alluding to? I have no idea. All I know is you probably shouldn't play the song at the family get-together. Home for Christmas by Danity Kane. A chill R&B track about wanting your partner to be home for the holiday. This song isn't necessarily groundbreaking as far as Christmas songs go, but it's still pretty solid. The girls sound gorgeous together as always, and the production reminds me a lot of their first album, which is a very high compliment coming from me. 100 Degrees by Kylie Minogue featuring Danny Minogue. Name a more iconic sister duo than Kylie and Danny. These two are the modern day disco queens, and 100 Degrees is a perfect representation of that. It doesn't necessarily sound Christmassy, but the lyrics about the holiday spirit still being alive even if it's 100 degrees make it an unmistakable Christmas anthem. Now, if only Santa could bring us a new Danny Minogue album, that would be the ultimate gift. You'll Shoot Your Eye Out by Fall Out Boy. Coming from the 2003 compilation album A Santa Claus, It's a Punk Rock Christmas, the song is a somber kiss-off anthem dedicated to a seemingly toxic partner. It's genuinely biting, mostly thanks to the minimal production, allowing the cynical lyrics, and Patrick Stump's performance to shine. The gifts you're receiving from me will be 1 awkward silence, and 2 hopes you cry yourself to sleep, staying up, waiting by the phone, and all I want this year is for you to dedicate your last breath to me before you bury yourself alive. God damn. I don't know what the hell this girl did, but she is clearly going on the naughty list. Oh Santa by Mariah Carey. Of course I had to bring up a song by Mrs. Claus herself. With 2 amazing Christmas albums under her belt, there's a lot of great stuff to pick from, but I wanted to highlight this one as it's a serious bop. Oh Santa is a fast-paced, super fun track with a 1960s girl group feel to it. The song should really get more radio play. It's festive, bright, upbeat, and extremely catchy. Mariah teamed up with Jennifer Hudson and Ariana Grande for a remixed version of the song in 2020, and it's just as good as the original in my opinion. Definitely get into this one if you never heard it. Santa Baby, Gimme 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 by Willa Ford. Alright, as one of the 8 remaining Willa Ford stans on the internet, I gotta shout out my girl when I can. This track comes from the compilation album MTV TRL Christmas, released in 2001, and it is hilariously shameless. It's basically an updated version of Santa Baby, with Willa asking for some pretty expensive gifts, like houses, trips, and Hawkeyes, which frankly I've had on my list for years, so I can't hate on that. The video is hilarious too, with Willa getting to play around with some boy toys. Now this is my kind of Christmas. If you love early 2000s pop, this is totally one you'd enjoy. Xmas by Newfound Glory. Another track about a toxic ex-partner. This one also comes from the punk rock Christmas album, and it is admittedly a lot more upbeat than the Fall Out Boy song. While the lyrics are definitely pessimistic, the merry production, complete with chimes and sleigh bells, make it a really great track to listen to, even when it's not Christmas time. This is just a solid pop rock banger that happens to take place on Christmas, and what is not to love about that? My Only Wish This Year by Britney Spears. Alright, I'm sure everyone watching this video knows the song, but I can't not mention it. As far as I know, this is the only Christmas song Britney's ever officially released, and frankly, it's the only one she's ever needed to release, because it just goes off that much. I genuinely believe that this is a Christmas classic at this point. I don't understand why it isn't played more or acknowledged as one of the best modern day Christmas songs. Well, modern day as in 2000, but still, relatively modern. Britney's sweet and exuberant performance gives the song so much charm, and it doesn't sound outdated at all, despite being over 2 decades old. My only wish is that this song gets its flowers. It really deserves more love. I Won't Be Home for Christmas by Blink-182. Yet another punk rock Christmas track, and this one is definitely the most violent. I Won't Be Home for Christmas is basically about Mark Hoppus threatening to beat up a bunch of carolers, getting arrested for it, and then having a guy named Bubba unwrap his package while he's in jail, and I do not think he's talking about a FedEx package. This song is classic Blink. It's immature, silly, and a great one to throw on for a laugh. Santa Claus Lane by Hilary Duff. I'm also planning to do a video on Hilary Duff's Christmas album, so I'll try to keep this brief. Santa Claus Lane is a chipper teen pop track, with Hilary singing about her magical experience in the North Pole. It sounds like a song you'd hear in a made-for-TV kids movie, and I mean that as a compliment. High School Musical 2 was made for kids, and that soundtrack slaps. Hilary's giving you enchanted, wonderstruck energy on this one, and there's something so endearing about it. If you have kids, this is a good one to play. You gotta introduce them to Duff at an early age if you want them to be truly cultured, after all. 8 Days of Christmas by Destiny's Child. An updated take on the 12 Days of Christmas, this song is a serious bop that deserves more love nowadays. I feel like I never hear it on the radio or see it discussed that much, which sucks because this is another one that should be a Christmas classic. And again, it really doesn't sound outdated at all in my opinion. Also, if I could date any man from any Christmas song, it would have to be the one they're singing about here. He got these girls Chloe shades, a diamond belly ring, candlelit dinner, jeans, a jacket, and a Mercedes. Santa, please bring me a man like this for Christmas. Christmas Must Be Something More by Taylor Swift. Released back in 2007, when Taylor was still a little more country than strictly pop, Christmas Must Be Something More is a feel-good, upbeat banger that wouldn't sound out of place on her first album. It's a little corny, especially the line, "Here's to the birthday boy that saved our lives," but I can't help feeling all holly and jolly whenever I listen to it. I think the cheesy earnestness is what gives it so much charm, and Taylor's little southern twang she pretended to have back then just sets it over the top. Merry Christmas, Kiss My Ass by All Time Low. This is probably my favorite cynical, dour Christmas song. The title alone makes it a standout, but the jingly, guitar-heavy production and scream-along chorus have made this a staple Christmas-time jam for me. I hope one day I have a really toxic boyfriend just so I could break up with them using this song. Sleigh Ride by the Spice Girls. A B-side to Two Become One, which also always gave me Christmas vibes for some reason. This is a spiced-up cover of the Christmas standard, complete with a lot of chatter from the girls. I'm not kidding, a good minute of the song is basically just them shooting the shit about the holiday, and I kinda love it. The girls are just naturally entertaining, especially when they're all being silly and playing off of each other like this, and all their banter is what takes the song from being a pretty good, albeit basic cover, and turns it into something more. Apparently there's an edited version without them talking, and that's what got played on the radio, but that's no fun. Let me listen to my girls talk about Santa and Boxing Day, goddammit. Christmas Without You by Ava Max. Unlike the rest of her synthy dance pop discography, Christmas Without You is actually pretty understated for an Ava Max song. It's a simple, bouncy tune with a catchy chorus, and all the expected bells and whistles every Christmas pop song has. It's a traditional, classic-sounding holiday bop, and Ava delivers on the vocals, especially with that whistle note in the final chorus. A super adorable song overall. One I've Been Missing by Little Mix. This is another fairly understated cut from a usually bombastic pop act, but it works really well. The production is shimmery and pretty, the girl sounds beautiful, especially in the post-chorus refrain, and the song has a very classic 1950s-like feel to it. This is one you listen to when you're all cozy by the fireplace, sipping on some hot chocolate. That's it for this list, but check out the playlist in the description to listen to all the songs mentioned here, and some more great holiday tracks that I didn't get to talk about. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great holiday season.